Ahmed Kaballo, Sudan Affairs Analyst, and he's CEO and founder of African Stream. That's a Pan-African digital media organisation. Great to have you on, Ahmed. Now, when we hear the head of the Sudanese army say something like that, it amounts to he's calling for the capitulation, I would say, of the RSF. They have to withdraw from all the territories that they've taken. Are we in a situation now where this conflict only ends when one side has been completely defeated?
Yes, I understand why you would say that, but you got to think of it from the Zahawi and the 4 tribes that are mentioned in this UN report. If we don't have the RSF give up the territory that it occupies, what happens to those non-Arab tribes, which the RSF have pledged time and time again on video that they've posted themselves to clean of Sudan? So when he says that, and I'm not a fan of Al Burhan, he's the one that invited the RSF to the capital of Khartoum in the first place that led to this mess. However, when he says that, it's with the Sudanese people in mind, because life under RSF occupation is no life at all. And if you look at the report, it signifies that. It says girls were raped from ages 7 to 70. It says that they were said, you must have our children. People were forced to eat leaves because food was prevented from entering Fasher. Water infrastructure was attacked. There was constant talks of intent to change the demographic of Darfur, change the name of Darfur, which means House of Four, to Dal Arab, which means House of the Arabs. So this is why General Al Burhan has taken such a hardline position, which very much represent the sentiments of Sudanese people that have lived under RSF control. I can speak from personal experience because my father lived under RSF control and his experiences were horrific.
I'll rephrase it slightly, what I said then, and put it in context based on what you've just said. Can you foresee a situation in Sudan where the two entities can exist, the Sudanese state control and the army and the RSF, if they were to withdraw from public areas, where they could both exist and the conflict would end?
The problem is even before this war started in April 2023, the RSF has a history of violence, has a history of genocide. So how can you coexist with a genocidal militia that wasn't only causing chaos and violence in Sudan, but also outside of Sudan's borders, were used to destabilize parts of Libya, were used in the conflict in Central African Republic, were used in Niger. This is why there can be no coexistence. Now, I guess the question you're asking me is how can we get to a situation where a militia of 100,000 men just give up? And that's unlikely to happen. However, the drones that they're using, they're not made by the RSF. The weapons that they're using, they're not made by the RSF. They don't have a weapons manufacturing industry. These weapons are supplied to the RSF. And where were they supplied to the RSF? Via the United Arab Emirates. And we've had reports and reports and reports that indicate that. Now, what I found, although I'll commend the UN for this fact-finding mission and this report, which was much needed, and the findings in this report, in the report, they refused to name the United Arab Emirates. They said the RSF appears to be receiving logistical support. From who? There's no point saying you're going to do a UN fact-finding mission and you're going to name the perpetrators, but you're not going to name the entity that is arming, resupplying, and giving logistical support to the RSF, unless that stops. And that's where Western capitals, we saw Yvette Cooper, the British Foreign Secretary, gave a very powerful speech. But the UK has so much leverage in terms of pressuring the United Arab Emirates. Donald Trump has so much leverage in terms of pressuring the United Arab Emirates. We've got to ask, 3 years into war, why have they not done it 2 yet? And what will it take for them to do it? How many declarations of genocide needs to be declared before they do that?
Ahmed, it was great to get your analysis on this. Thanks for your time. Ahmed Kaballo, Sudan Affairs Analyst, CEO and founder of African Stream, my guest.